Former President Trump's fixation on crowd size, it's been a hallmark of his political career. Here he is in Atlanta this Saturday.
Crazy Kamala, ultra-left, you know that. She was here a week ago, lots of empty seats. But the crowd she got was because she had entertainers.
And now Kamala Harris's campaign is using that fixation to taunt him on his own social media site, no less. On Truth Social, they posted comparisons of crowd size for each candidate inside the same arenas in both Atlanta and Philadelphia. And yes, he is tagged. Just another sign that the We Go High era of Democratic politics may be over. For more, let's bring in Victoria DeFrancesco Soto, Dean of the Clinton School of Public Service at the University of Arkansas and an MSNBC political analyst, and Charlie Sykes, MSNBC columnist and political analyst. Victoria, Harris took the memes. She ran with them from the jump. What have you made of their social media strategy so far?
It's masterful, Alicia. I mean, the way that she is able to harness that earned media, really connecting with digital natives, that younger generation, but also not ignoring the old school paid side of things. You know, we have seen that in the last week, the Harris campaign spent close to $30 million, and they're going to be spending another $50 million coming up on the DNC. So they are really going hard on the social media campaign, which I think is fantastic, especially because she has time to make up for. That being said, Alicia, I worry there's that little Debbie Downer in me that sees the need for coupling that with old school politics. So just making sure that you're not relying on social media alone, because it is a fantastic buzz to convert votes, to convert especially young folks who are low propensity voters to A, register to vote, and then B, turn out and vote. So I mean, as long as they have that direct mobilization conversion piece, the social media is going to do what it needs to do.
Right, Charlie, in that case, social media becomes a value add. I think the reason it is interesting to us, at least, Charlie, is because of the extent to which it is where Donald Trump expresses himself and his message. And since Joe Biden has dropped out, Trump has been ranting nonstop, as you know, on Truth Social. And so I wonder if the issue that his entire attack strategy was geared towards Biden, or as you said in your MSNBC column, that Trump is just getting weirder.
Well, he is getting weirder, and he's also having a very hard time navigating this new political universe. I mean, he's used to being able to set the agenda. He determines what people are talking about, and that's not happening. In fact, you know, this week is fascinating. You know, watching this the Democratic ticket bounce around the entire country, all of the swing states, and where is Donald Trump? And J.D. Vance is doing these sort of pathetic stalking maneuvers. But what I think is and I agree with everything that's been said about the social media. It is impressive so far, but even more impressive, I think, has been the organic growth, the organic reaction on sites like TikTok that Joe Biden never had. We never experienced this before, never saw anything like it. And I think it's important to sift out the wish casting and the speculation from the actual data, what we're seeing on the ground. Obviously, small donors, these turnouts at the rallies, but the explosion of social media interest. And again, this is not something that can be bought. This is organic. This is spontaneous. And I think it's an indication, a real tangible indication of the way this race has very dramatically changed.
To your point, Victoria, about the fact that this needs to be coupled with a ground game, with policy. There was some of what Vice President Harris said tonight that really caught my attention, and that was her messaging around the economy, understanding just how critical that is going to be to a broad swath of voters. Take a listen to how she framed this economic moment.
We believe in a future where we lower the cost of living for America's families. Our economy is doing well by many measures. Prices for everyday things like groceries are still too high. You know it and I know it. And when I am president, it will be my day one priority to fight to bring down prices, to take on the big corporations that engage in illegal price gouging, take on corporate landlords that unfairly raise rents on work working families, to take on big pharma and cap the cost of prescription drugs for all Americans.
For so long, Vicki, there's been this sort of like, well, how can we do both, right? How can we acknowledge that there is still pain in the economy, that things are not easy for people, while also saying we've done some good stuff and we have a plan moving forward? I think specifically it's very interesting that when she's talking about affordability and cost of living, she's now talking about it in terms of corporate greed, right? Because that gives her then someone to go after. And it works, especially in the context of her biography as a person who has gone toe-to-toe with those type of scammers and bad actors in the past. That messaging, Vicki, I would assume is going to be core to this campaign.
So she does two things with this that are so effective. First is she creates a narrative. Our brains like stories. We like heroes and we like villains. We've got Kamala as the hero. We've got the villains of corporations. So she has that. But what she also does is she acknowledges the pain. And I think that that was glossed over in the last couple of months and saying, no, things really are getting better. They are. Look at the macroeconomic indicators. She starts this story by acknowledging that, I feel your pain. I get it. Things are still too expensive. And then she pivots to the story. And more importantly here is the futurist view. We're going to do better. We are going to go after those bad actors rather than saying, we're going to go back. We're going to do things like we did them in the past, but moving forward.